Okay. Well, very good morning, guys. Yeah. So last class we just been talking about view data, right? So yeah, our main intention is how the values, basically, yeah, our main intention is to just know how exactly the values are passed from action method to view, right? Our requirement is passing the values from an action method to view. And in this process, we have been first learned about a concept called as view data. We have learned about a concept called as view data. So have shown you a demonstrator and an example to you to understand how to use view data in your code. How to use view data in your code. So first all the values came to the action method. Now what are you going to do? You're just going to store all the values into view data and then jump to the view. Now in the view, we can access all the values of the view data. Is that clear? So in this process, I said you, if at all you want to implement any logic, you can implement logic also. Earlier guys, earlier in the sense, like in a web forms application, we need to do all the calculations in the CS and send the values to HTML. We need to do all the calculations or everything, whatever you have, all the manipulations, whatever it is, everything should be done in the CS. And finally, the result should be sent to HTML. But when you come here now, when you just come here, the flexibility is you can do all the manipulations in the HTML also using C# code. That's what we have done. You can see that I just picked the value. I want to do some calculation of 10% tax. I just done that and I just gone for displaying or printing the price on the screen. Is it clear? Okay. So this flexibility is what Razor Pages or MVC provides to you. You can just write up all your code in the CS HTML files because the combination of C# and HTML. So you can see there HTML code is there. And at the same time, you also have C# code included over there. Okay. So if you observe one more time, let's run this. /home index1 101 shoes 3500 are the values what I'm passing. So it will go and hit the index1 action method. Yeah, 101 shoes. What I passed 3500 plus 10%, 3850. Is that clear? Fine. It's about the view data, what I showed you in the last class. It's like how to use the view data. Okay. Basically, we have some drawbacks with view data, guys. Actually, you are having some drawbacks with view data. View data has some few drawbacks here. What are the drawbacks of the view data means? View data can transfer data from a controller action method to its corresponding view only. What is that? It can transfer the data from a controller's action method to a corresponding view. See, watch this. This is the action method, correct? It is associated with a view now. What is the view name? Index1. It can send the data only to that particular view. Means the scope is very limited, just like private. The scope is very limited. What is that? You can pass the values, but where to where? From the index action method to the index1 action method to index1 view. That's it. Are you clear? But you cannot pass on to something else or somewhere else. That's not going to corresponding. One view, immediately what is the view launches, up to that view only it can transfer the data. Okay. Second drawback. View data life lasts only during the current HTTP request. That is, view data values will be cleared if redirection occurs. Means one request. Means that the scope of the view data is only one request. I said to you, it's like a private. The scope of the view data is like one request. I sent a request to server and that transferred, I sent a request to action method that transfer the control to view send the output. Means it is one request. You sent one request to the action method and you got a response of the view now. It's only considered like one request. So the scope of the view data is only to one request. That's all. Suppose if you come to browser, once you come to browser, immediately the data in the view data gets cleared. Are you clear? I went to server here. From there, if I come to browser, all the data is lost. All the data is lost. Okay. So that's basically one important thing what you require to remember. View data is resolved dynamically at runtime. View data is resolved dynamically at runtime. As a result, it doesn't give any compile time error checking, as well as we do not get support of IntelliSense. For example, suppose if you misspell the key name, suppose spelling mistake here, a small spelling mistake. Now, the main problem is no compile time error comes. I given the name wrong, but no compile time error is going to come for us. No runtime error also. But I did not get the data. But so when I watch it, if I notice it, data is not coming. So basically it is not going to get you any compile time error, no runtime error, and IntelliSense also will not work. What do you mean by that? Yes, when I'm typing, when I'm just going to type it, there is no IntelliSense support that is available to me to tell this is wrong. Are you clear? Okay, so this is the main problem what you have with the view data. So no compile time error, no runtime error. If at all, I just give any mistake also. So see, view data is resolved dynamically at runtime. As a result, it doesn't give any compile time error checking, as well as we do not get support of IntelliSense. For example, if we misspell the key name, then we will not get any compile time or runtime error also. Whereas we come to know about the problem at the runtime because the value is not displayed. There is a problem, when the value is not displayed, then we came to know, there is a problem. Otherwise, no compile time error, no runtime error. Next, view data values must be converted into an appropriate type, unboxing, before using them because they are present in object format as we have performed in case of price value to calculate 10% tax. Understand? You're required to perform an unboxing of the values in the view data. The values in the view data will always be in object format. So to consume it, you're required to go for a unboxing. We done it now. Object, say, if you remember here, before going to use it, what did I call? Convert.toDouble. I explicitly converted. Can't I directly use it? No, you can't. Why? All the data will be in object format. Okay. So these are the 4 drawbacks of the view data. These are the 4 drawbacks of view data. Note, we can store scalar as well as complex type values also into view data. But while accessing them, we need to explicitly convert them into its original type again. You can store scalar type values, complex type values, anything here, whatever you want, you can store in the view data. No restriction at all. On the other side, when you're consuming, conversion is mandatory. Conversion is mandatory. For example, I will write one action method like this. Watch. What is the method name? Display. What are you doing here? You are taking a list that stores what type of values? String type of values. You are declaring a list that stores what? String type of values. You are going to store string type of values. And you are just going to store a set of colors in this. String values, all are strings. Like a string array. This is like a string array. Next, what is the difference between an array and a list? Array is fixed length, list is variable length. Array will ask you to specify the size at the time of declaration, but list will not tell you. List will tell you, you keep on adding, I'll keep on increasing. This is dynamic array. This is a dynamic array. But you need to tell, if you declare array, how do you declare string of square brace? But here, how do you declare list of what type of value? If you want to store integer, list of int. If you want to store double, list of double. Like this, we're just going to store. Next, We are storing that in the view data now. Array, we are storing the array in the view data, returning the view. So what I'm trying to tell, you can store simple types. Understand? Int, string, double are all simple types. Scalar. Simple types means scalar type, single value. Second option, complex types. List is a simpler, scalar or complex. Complex, which is going to store multiple values. We can store scalar as well as complex type values also in the view data. But the important point to remember is on the target page, you're required to convert them back into their original type again. So it should be converted back into the original type again on the target page. Fine, you see, let's add a view here. Add view. We'll display this in a list format. We'll display this in a list format. H3 values in the are list of colors. Or a list of colors. I just want to display the colors. How? Ordered list. Okay. Remember, I shown you different varieties of writing the for loop at the rate for each. I'm using at the rate for each. String color in. What is the name? View data of. What did I say? COLORS. Yeah, COLORS is what I just used. Okay. For each color in view data.colors, giving error, see? Why? This is object, remember, this is an object. You cannot use it. So what to do? You need to convert it back into its original type. Which type? List. List of. List of string. Then only it works. You need to convert it explicitly into list of strings. Okay, now, fine. Now let's print the values. How to print? Li, list item, and here, what you say, at the rate color, at the rate color. Yeah. I don't require any input now. Just to directly call it. No input here. Directly call the display method. Which controller? Home. Which method? Display one. Got it. Why I shown you this example is two things to understand. Point number one, scalar types, complex types also can be stored. We stored a complex type now. Point number two, when you're consuming these values on the view, conversion is mandatory. If you directly want to display, see, here you see, you directly want to display ID, no issue. Want to display name, no issue. But if at all you want to write any logic on that, conversion is mandatory. Here, we want to write logic on the price, conversion done. We want to write logic on the array, on the list. What logic for each loop? So conversion is mandatory. You're required to explicitly do the conversion. Okay. See, we are added a new action method, display one, and we are writing this so and so code inside of it. So I just explained you how you can implement your logic already. And how to call it? Execute display one action method as following. For every method here, how to call, I just given you http localhost:/home/display one. How do you call the previous method? Clear? That's how you're just going to call the appropriate methods. How to invoke everything, I just given in a detailed format to you. So this is all about view data. This is all about view data. So before going to explain you the next thing, I want to teach you a small thing, explain you a small concept here. What is that? I want to tell you, many people who already aware of web applications or web forms are aware of this one. For other people, it's a new concept. What is it is? Web applications are stateless. web applications are stateless. What do you mean by web applications are stateless? Exactly the meaning of this web applications are stateless is, listen, generally when you are trying to send a request to a web application, it will process the request and send the response to the browser, correct? I already explained you a number of times. Request comes to server will process the request and sends the response back to the clients. So this is what exactly happens. Very good, fine. So this is what basically happens. Once the response comes to the browser, immediately the server will delete all the information that is associated with that client on the server. The server will delete all the information that is associated with the client on the server. You remember, I already explained you about this in the introduction classes one day. IP is stateless. You remember, IP is connectionless. When I was explaining about TCP and IP, I used this word. IP is connectionless. What is that? When a request goes to server and a response comes to browser, immediately the connection between the server and the browser is cut off. Why? Because millions of users will be connecting to the server at a point of time. Not like one or two guys. Millions of users will be connecting to a server at a point of time. So the server cannot maintain connections between all the people now. 1 million users connected to the server. If all the million have a connection with the server cannot respond. There will be a limitation for the server also. Whatever speed you use, there will be some limitation. After that limit reaches, no one can respond. See, if I just have a query session now, if I try to ask you some queries now, one person asking the query and I answer. 2 persons asking a query at a time, I'll try to manage. 3 persons, hardly I'll try. If 10 people are asking 10 questions at a time, I cannot answer now. Same problem, if all the people falls on the server at a time, the server cannot respond. So that's why web applications, basically IP itself is connectionless. Connectionless in the sense, once a request goes to server, response comes to browser, immediately the connection between the server and the browser will be cut off. That's what we call as connectionless architecture. Is that clear? So, because IP is connectionless, web applications are stateless. Because IP is connectionless, web applications are stateless. In the sense, if at all I give some value to a server, if at all I send some value to server, and I want to access that value in my first request, I sent a value to server. I want to access that value in the second request. I want to access that value in second request. If at all you just wanted to access that value in the second request, you cannot access it anymore. Why, sir? Because once the response is given to the browser, you sent the first request and got the response now, immediately server will clear all your data over there. Server will clear all the data over there. Sir, I want to use the same value in my next request. Not possible. That's what we call web applications are stateless. Did you understand the word? Yes or not? Don't forget this one. You sent a value to server. Next time if you want, you will not get it. You will not get that particular value. So, sometimes we may require some important values to be accessible in my next request now. Sometimes I have some important value that should be accessible in the next request. If at all you want to access any values in the next request, we require to go for using a concept called as state management. It's a very, very important concept in the web application. State management. Not all values here. 1 or 2 values are there. I want to use them in my next request. Understood my point? So to what we have? State management. What is state management? State management is a process or a technique of maintaining the state of the values. Maintaining the state of the values. Are you clear? So basically, it's a process of maintaining the state of the values. Basically, right now, I explained about view data. View data doesn't maintain the state of the values. View data, what I explained you, doesn't maintain the state of the values. Yes, your view data doesn't maintain the state of the values. What do you mean? The request goes and response comes out. View data is immediately deleting all the data now. Did you catch my point? I sent my request to action method, passed on a set of values. I stored the view data. From the view data, all the values are sent to view. View is consuming the values. From there, the response came back. Once the response comes back, view data is immediately going to leave all the data. The data is not accessible again for you in the next request. The data is not accessible to you anymore in the next request. Suppose right now we launch a view one. View one page open now. On the view one, I have a link. When I click on the link, it will go to another page. For example, on the view one, I have a link. When I click on the link, it goes to another page. Now in another page, I want to access the values of the view data. You can't access anymore. Why? It lost the data. Because once the response comes to browser, immediately what will happen? Server deletes all the information over there. So view data doesn't maintain the state of values. Even though we store the values in the view data doesn't maintain the state of values. Did you understand? Then who can maintain the state? That's what we are going to understand. Scopes. I said you, all these are different scopes. View data doesn't maintain. Who maintains? Come on, let's understand one by one and we'll get a clarity who is going to be maintaining the state of the values or who is capable to maintain the state of the values in detail going forward. Understood? Fine. So view data doesn't maintain state. Second option. What is the second option? View back. The second option is view back. What is view back? Guys, this view back is exactly same as view data. The view back is exactly same as view data. In the sense, have a look, all of you. I am writing a new method. What is the method? Index to. Now, I want to teach the second option. What is that view back? How do we use this view back? View back, and this view back basically is of type dynamic. Which type? You learned in C# na, where dynamic, it is of type dynamic. Okay? Now, how do we work with the view back? You know, see, if you want to use it with the view data of key name is equals to value. But coming to view back, it's like a view back dot key name is equals to value. It's going to be a little bit easier working up. View back dot ID. Again, view back dot name. View back dot price. Did you understand me? Okay. So this is how you store the values in the view back. This view back and view data behind the screen are one and the same. In the sense, they remember view data, which type I said you? View data dictionary. Behind the screen, there is a class called view data dictionary. All the values will be stored in the view data dictionary. Even that is same in case of the view back also. It is going to be a view data dictionary. It is going to be a view data dictionary. Means simply speaking, this view back is a wrapper over the view data. Both are same only. View back is a wrapper over the view data. Then what is the need of it, sir? Then what is the need of it? Okay, that will be a doubt. Okay, I'll clarify you. Add view. View added. Now, yesterday to display the values we designed index one. The same code again here. Copy this table as it is. Paste it in index 2. Copy that as it is and paste it in index 2. Okay, now, fine. Now it is view data or view back? Louder. View back. How to call? View back dot ID. View back dot name. Okay. Watch. View back dot price. View back dot price. View back dot ID, view back dot name, and view back dot price. Okay, just a second, all of you. Let me come to home controller and call this. Which action method? Index 2, right? Index 2. Run. Got your output? The method I called is, put that in the mind, I called index 2. Guys, all of you, by looking at this, did you understand the advantage of view bag over view data? What is the advantage? Conversion not required, because it which type? Dynamic. And you already know dynamic, based on the type of value, automatically the type is resolved. I don't require to do any conversion at all. One more example, we'll talk about it again. One more display method. Display 2. One more display method, guys. Display 2. Right click, add view. And to display this, we have already written the code in the previous example. Remember? What is it? List of colors. List of colors. Okay? Something. UL, unordered list. At the rate, for each string color in view bag dot colors. Did I change it here? Sorry guys, I think I did not change it here. What's it? View bag dot colors. View bag dot colors. Okay now? Next. Li at the rate color. So just watch it again. Conversions are done or not done? Conversion is not done now also. Display 2. Got your values. Understood? Guys, one small thing I want to show you. Here, I changed it. But without changing, if I earlier, what did I write? View data of colors. Here also I'm writing view data of colors. Means I stored in a view data. But when we come to the corresponding view, which view? Display 2. I used what? View bag. I used view bag. So should I get an error or not? Tell me. I should get an error because you stored in a view data and you're accessing it from a view bag. You're trying to access it from a view bag. What error will come? Let us see. No error here. That's what I said to you. It's a wrapper. Both are same. So if I can store data in a view data, can I access through view bag? Yes, it is. You store data in a view data, you can access it through view bag. You store the data in a view bag, you can access it through view data. Bidirectional, vice versa, it is accessible. Which one is better? View bag than view data. View bag is, what is the advantage with view bag? Type safe. Type safe. It is going to be type safe. View data, not type safe. Boxing and unboxing required there. Boxing and unboxing required there. When I assign the value, it is converted into object. When I access the value, it will come as object. Again, it should convert back into a string array or a list or a double, whatever it is, I need to do the conversion. The type safety is the biggest advantage what you have in case of view bag. Am I clearer, all of you? Otherwise, view data, view bag, both are one and the same. Initially, we don't have view bag. What we have is only view data. View bag was introduced in MVC 3. First, what we have is view data. To simplify view data, they introduced view bag in MVC 3. So now, going forward, view data should not be used. What should I use? View bag. Are you getting me? View data should not be used. What should I use going forward? View bag is what is the best option suggested when compared with the view data. Okay, watch. View bag. This is also a property defined in the class controller base, but this is of type dynamic. Dynamic is a new type introduced in C# 4.0. You already know that. Capable of storing any type of value, and this is type safe because it represents the value in their exact type in runtime. The value is represented in its exact type. Okay, it represents the value in its exact type. In its exact type. Just a grammatical correction, no errors there. Yeah, just that's all. No issue. Don't change anything. represents the value in its exact type in runtime. Viewback was introduced in MVC3, which was just a wrapper around the view data, but was type safe. It is just a wrapper around the view data, but this is type safe. So it doesn't require any type conversion while consuming. How to use a viewback? See, syntax. Viewback dot is equals to value. Example, viewback dot name is equals to Raj. How do you access? Type var is equals to viewback dot property name. What is the type now? String name is equals to viewback dot name. That's it. Okay now? To work with viewback, add two new action methods in the class home controller as below. Watch. The two new methods what I explained to you. Index to display to. Clear? Now add view to each action method and write the code. Yeah, you're adding in view to each and every action method now, and you're just trying to write the code over there. Yeah. And mainly what you're required to observe is the price. Mainly what you're required to observe is about the price. You can just watch it. No conversions done here. No conversions done at all. Clear? And also the second example. What's it? Display to. In display to also no conversions are done. You can watch. And how to execute the methods. Okay now. As discussed above, viewback is a wrapper around view data. Excuse me. That is, data that is stored in viewback will be internally stored in view data dictionary only. So values that are stored in viewback can also be accessed to view data and vice versa. I've proven you already. To test this, go to index2.cshtml and change the statement viewback.id to viewback of id to and execute the index2 action method, and still we get the same output as before. Are you clear? Simply change it. What did you write? Viewback.id now? Change to viewback of id and execute index2 action method and execute index2 action method, and still we get the same output as before. Okay? Viewback is type safe. Remember all of you. Viewback is type safe. Viewback is going to be type safe actually. Sorry guys. Hold on. What is your question? Where we should use it? I did not understand your question. Where we should use it? Anywhere you like. That's your choice. What happened? Hold on a minute. Yeah. Someone raised the question, where should I use them, sir? Actually, what is our discussion here? Where I started the discussion, what did I explain you? When you want to transport the values from action method to the view, then we need to go for using this view data sender, view back. Both are same here. Faster, slower, that is none of your business. The question here is only about the type safety. Can you catch my, which one is faster, sir? Both are same only. Because both are storing you the data internally in a view data dictionary only. The point is not about fastness here. The point is all about type safety. The point is all about the type safety. Which one is type safe should be the question. Which one is type safe? Viewback is type safe. So going forward, what did I say? Going forward, let's not going to use view data. What we use is only viewback. What we use is only the viewback. Okay? So that's the important thing to remember. Fine, guys. Yeah. Viewback is type safe. Viewback is type safe actually. That is, it doesn't require any type conversions while accessing the data because we get the values back in its original type only. Whereas view data requires type conversion as the values come back as object. View data and viewback are accessible only within the request, that is in the corresponding view associated with the action method. Corresponding views associated with the action methods. Okay. In both the case, if the key names are misspelled, then we don't get compile time or runtime. Viewback also has this drawback here. Viewback also has this drawback. I already shown you this drawback in the view data. Remember, I misspelled the key name. Did I get any error? No compile time error, no runtime error. So one thing we say, view data, no type safety, as well as no name resolution. But when you come to here, one problem is solved. What is solved? Type safety problem, but name resolution is not still available. So no IntelliSense support, and we don't have any runtime error or any compile time error that will come to you if you misspell the key name. Both cases we have the same drawback. So now tell me, can I maintain state? Can I maintain the state by using view data viewback? Can I maintain the state by using view data viewback? No, not possible. Why? It can serve only one request. Means I sent a request, I got a response. Finish. View data is lost. View data is lost. View data, viewback. Both these two cannot be used for maintaining the state of the values. Third option. What is third option? Temp data. What is this? Temp data. Temp data is also like view data. Temp data is also like view data in the sense, not about scope. Not about scope. In the way you store the values, in the way you access the values, everything is same as view data. Temp data is same as view data in the way you store the values and in the way you access the values. Nothing difference at all. Everything works in the same. But when you come to temp data, temp data has more scope than view data. Temp data has more scope than view data. That's what they are. It is something like access specifiers, private. Internal has more scope than it. Protected has more scope than it. You learned in your C# classes about access specifiers. Private can be accessed only in the class, in the project. Internal can be accessed only in the project. Protected can be accessed in the project, out of the project. Child classes, public, anywhere. Here also we are talking the same thing, only scopes basically. Okay, now we are basically talking about the scopes only in this case also. So how do we use this temp data? Means the temp data is also used like view data only. Perhaps, for example, watch this code. I wanted to demonstrate you the difference between temp data and view data, as well as viewback. View data, viewback, both are same. How I'm going to demonstrate is, watch it all of you. Watch it all of you. Index 3, okay now? Index 3. Now I'm storing these particular values where one in the view data, second one I'll store you in view bag, third one I'm going to store you temp data. So why is here? Actually my intention is to demonstrate the difference between all the three. Clearer? My intention is to demonstrate the difference between all the three. That's why I just taken one view data, one as a view bag, one as a temp data. Is that clearer all of you? Yes or not? Now my intention is, look at this all of you. Look at this carefully. Here, what view will launch? Index 3, right? Yes or not? But actually, means you're passing the data to the corresponding view. Am I right? You're passing the data to corresponding view. But I want to transfer the data to another view now. Corresponding view, I already showed you two examples to you. I want to transfer the data to another view. Okay, all of you. Which view, sir? First understand. If you want to transfer the control from one view to, one to the other, first point. Here, I'm using a different thing, redirected to route result, not view result. What is that? Redirected to route result. Okay, so that's what exactly I'm just using, redirect to route result. And when I call redirect to route result, I use return statement, return, redirected to action. What is that? You are going to redirect the control from one action method to another action method. All of you observe carefully. Do you understand that? Where is index 4? I will write it. Just understand. You are redirecting from index 3 to where the control came? Where the control came? Index 3. From there the control is going to index 4. Understood my point or not? You first came to index 3. From there the control went to index 4 basically. That's what exactly happens to you in this case now. So now when I'm transferring the control from 3 to 4, I first stored all the values where? I stored all the values in the one value in the view data, one value in the view bag, and one value in the temp data. Okay. Now from index 3 control comes to index 4. Public view result index 4 return view. So now which method I will invoke and pass all the values to it, and this will transfer the control to index 4, and index 4 will launch the view. Now index 3 doesn't have a view, guys. Who is going to have the view? Index 4 is going to have the view. Okay, watch. Add view. Yeah, let me copy this table as it is from here and put it under index 4. First one is view data. Second one. Third one. Temp data. Temp data is also not type safe here. Temp data is also not type safe. Only view bag is type safe. Temp data is not again type safe. Okay. So fine. Now let us call the method. Which method? Index 3. But what will be the output? Index 4. Somewhere I made a mistake. Semicolon missing. Where? Yeah, here guys. Index 3. Where the control came, see? Index 3. Going to store all the data in the view data, view back, temp data. Redirect to route. Observe. The control comes to the index 4 and launches the view. Which view? Actually, control came to index 4 now and it is going to launch the view. ID no value, name no value, price as a value. Why? The scope of view data and view back, what did I say? Corresponding view only, from the action method to corresponding view. From one action method, I jump to another action method. The data is lost. But view back, temp data is still providing access to the value. Did you understand the difference? Yes or not? The scope varies. That's basically about the scope. Temp data. This is also a property under the class controller base, but is of type temp data dictionary. View data and view back are view data dictionary. This is temp data dictionary, designed with a different scope. Both view data dictionary and temp data dictionary are child classes of iDictionary interface, which is designed for storing data in key value or name value combination. The difference between temp data and view data is temp data can maintain the state of values between multiple requests. That is, it can pass values from one action method to another action method which is present in the same controller or another controller also. Now I shown you transferring the control to same controller, correct? Action method, both these action methods are present in the same controller. But you have a chance of transferring the data from one controller to another controller present in one action method to another action method present in a different controller also. Controller also can be different. I'll show you. The first example I shown you is read louder. First one, you're storing the value in view data, view back, temp data. Redirecting to index 4. Second method, index 4. Nothing there, simple return view, that's all. In the above case, request will first come to index 3 action method, which will set the values, and that method stores the values into view data, view back, temp data respectively, and redirects to index 4 action method, which is performed by using redirected to action helper method. And in this case, return type of index 3 action method should be not view result, not view result. It should be redirected to route result. I said you, there are so many different types of results are there, and I said I'll show you all options to you. Mostly what we use is view result, but today I have used another thing called as redirect to route result. Okay. And this is what we designed in index 4. Now add a view to index 4 action method and write the below coordinates view tag. So here see view data, view back, temp data. Execute index 3 action method as following. Which method are you calling? And now when the request is sent to index 3 action method, it will redirect to index 4 action method by calling redirect to action. So the method will send a redirection response. The method will send a redirection response 302 to the browser. Sir, what is that, sir? Actually, guys, browsers and in web applications, when there is a communication going to happen between browser and server, server will be telling some information to the browser. Server will be telling some information to the browser about the success and failure. About the success and failures in the form of status codes. In the form of status codes. Guys, if you send a request to a page which is not existing, what is the error you get? 404 not found, correct? Do you know what is 404? It is a status code. It is a HTTP status code. There are different types of status codes that are present. What are the different types of status codes? Just go to Google and search for HTTP status codes. You'll be getting a link from Wikipedia link about status codes. Open up. One XX series of status codes is called as information response. The request was received, continuing process. 2XX series is successful. The request has successfully received, understood and accepted. If you get a 200 response, what is the meaning, success. 300 series, you see the 300 series, these are called as redirection responses. 400 series, client errors. 500 series, server errors. What are client errors? Client errors means you sent a request to a wrong page. You sent a request to wrong page. You sent a request, but the request requires authentication. The request requires authentication. All that comes under 400 series. Okay? So 500 series means server errors, exceptions. Server errors in the sense, exceptions. All the problems that comes under the servers. So like this, we get. And if you scroll down, you will get the list of all the things. You carefully just read this article, all of you. Just go for searching for HTTP status code. The article is from Wikipedia. Read that article, all of you. Next time when I ask you about status codes, you should be in a position to answer me what is a status code. Is that clear? Okay. So you can see 1XX is information response. 100 is continue. 101 is switching protocols. 102 is processing, early hints, something will be. All 200 series is success. They're all success messages. 300 series, redirection. 300 multiple joy, 301 moved permanently, 3 found, previous moved temporarily. What's it? It's a temporary redirection what I'm doing in my code now. You sent a request to 3, I redirected to 4. That is called 302. Understood? It's a temporary redirection. The request did not come to index 4. The request came to index 3. And index 3 is going to redirect to index 4. That's what we just call as a temporary redirection. Same way 301 is permanent redirection. 301 is a sense permanent redirection means the completely redirected means the old page is no more existing. The old one is no more existing, directly goes to means how this happens, say, listen. You send a request to which method? Index 3. This redirected to index 4. Index 3 is existing or not existing? Louder. And redirected to? But guys, a request came for index 3, but unfortunately index 3 is not available in my code at all, and it went to index 4. That is called permanent redirection. This index 3 is not existing at all. Index 3 is not redirecting to where? Index 4. That's basically what we call as permanent redirection. But index 3 is existing and transferring the control to index 4. That is called as a temporary redirection. Okay. So like this, we just have like different types of different types of redirections available. Client error, they're all client error, bad request. Unauthorized, authentication required here. You need a payment for accessing the site now. Forbidden. Not found. You all know about this one. Method not allowed. Not acceptable. Proxy authentication required. Request timeout. Conflict. All these are client errors. server error. Internal server error. Basically, it's an exception, guys. All exceptions. Not implemented means you requested a page, but the page is not implemented. Bad gateway. Proxy errors means there is someone which is blocking your request in the middle. Like service available, gateway timeout, all these things comes under server errors. So what I say is just go through this article in detail, okay, and to understand what are status codes. So right now, what is happening in my code is a temporary or a permanent redirection. Louder. That's what I said here. So this method will send a redirection response 302 to the browser. So that browser will send a new request to index 4 action method, and then index 4 will get launched. And we can watch that in the browser's address bar, which will be shown as following. Now you see the address bar. If we watch the output in the browser, it will not display the values of ID and name, but will display the value of price, because view data, view bag cannot maintain the state of values between multiple requests, but temp data can maintain. What multiple request? Actually, you know that these are two separate requests. Why, sir, I sent request to one page only now? You're thinking you're sending request to one page. You sent a request to, all of you, carefully observe. Request sent to index 3. Server, what server is doing now? Sends a server is sending a redirection. Means what happened behind the screen, the control came to browser already. The server sent a redirection response to browser, and again browser sends a new request to index 4. Are you clear? You sent one request only, don't forget. Browser sent its request to index 3. Server sent a redirection response to browser. Now, browser sends a new request to, means how many round trips are there now? 2 round trips. There are 2 round trips in your code. Okay, all of you observe. Which method I am calling? Index 3, right? Just a minute. All of you, if you hit F12 in your browser, you'll get an option called developer tools. Aware of it? Open that and run your request. Send your request. All of you carefully observe. I'm sending request to index 3 with a set of values. Hit enter key. When you hit the enter key, all of you observe there is a 302 response, and another request came to index 4. First, the request went to whom? Index 1. Afterwards, it was just showing you index Not showing it. Network. I'll show you. There is a 302 response. 200 is the success status code. 302, 200. Request went to where? Index 4. It went to index 4. But the original request, see the original request. Are you clear? Index 3 sent a redirection response, and again the browser sent a new request to the server. So that's what exactly it is just trying to show you in this case. All three should be visible. Okay. So this is how exactly, so what you'll do? Hit F12, developer tools will open. Now send the request. On the other side, you can see the response carefully. Yeah. So you can just understand this code. I already said about this. If you want to resolve the if you want to resolve the above problem, go to index 3 action method and change view data and temp and view back to temp data. Because you are not getting the two values. What two values? ID and name did not come there. You want to resolve that? Yeah. Go and change from view data view back to temp data. So let me change. Let me change to temp data. Oh, wow. Yeah. Syntax error. Run F12, hit F12. Browser, yeah. When you are in the browser, you should hit F12, not when you are in Visual Studio. You are in the browser, then you should use F12. Did not compile. Oh no, the problem is not that. We did not change in index 4 view. We did not change that in the view actually. That's the mistake. See how to do that? I was just telling you this. Hit F12 when you're in the browser, then the developer tools will open. Now, send the request. It will show you the output either in the bottom or where it is present. You can dock it in different location. Now it is in the bottom. You can put it on the right side, left side, that's your choice. I have in the bottom here. Yeah, you got all the values now. Understood about temp data? So now tell me, can temp data maintain the state of the values? Can temp data maintain the state of the values? Yeah. Temp data can maintain the state of the values. View data viewback? View data viewback cannot maintain the state of the values. But temp data is capable of maintaining the state of the values. It should be redirect to route result only. Why temp data and view direct to route result are related? You're wrong, Sarek Sai Kumar. What I'm telling is, if you want to redirect, I should use redirect to route result. You don't want to redirect, use view data. Sorry, use what? View result only. I'll explain. They are not related. Did I say that when you are using temp data, we should use redirect to route result? I did not teach you that one. I was telling you temp data, view data, wherever you want, you store it. You want to redirect to another view, call this method. Which method? Okay. Next. Can I do this redirection only to methods within the controller, or can I do this redirection to methods in another controller also? That's the question now. Can I redirect to methods in another controller? Yes, you can. You can redirect to methods in Another controller also, this redirection works for you. For another controller also, this redirection is going to work. Watch. I had a new controller here. What is the name? I forgot. Just a second. Okay. What's the same? There is another controller what I'm adding in the project. I will name this controller as test controller. What is that? Test controller is a new controller what I'm adding in the project. Test controller. Okay now? Here, let us define one action method with the name index 1. Nothing, just an index 1. Now, I'll come to home controller. In home controller, I'm writing index 5. Why? The sequence here 3, 4, next method is 5. And I wanted to redirect my control not to an action method in the same controller but to another controller. Which action method? Index 1 present in test controller. Write that. How? Index 1, comma. It's an overloaded method. You can pass on the value. Don't pass anything. Same controller, same view. Pass on the view name. Sorry, pass on the action method name. Same controller, another action method. Pass on controller, action method name, controller. Another action method, another controller. You need to tell everything clearly there. And now see, request comes to index 5. The response comes from index 1. Controller also home to test. Watch, run. Oh, sorry. Index 1 is not designed there. Just a minute. We'll complete that also. Go to just a minute. Let me copy this. Go to test controller. Right click. Add view to index 1. Template. Okay. Home controller. Run. Which method should I call, guys? Index 5. All of you watch the address bar. What I'm calling? Home controller. Open the mouse or otherwise I'll send you out of the class. Some of you are sleeping in the classroom. That's what I'm telling you. Open the mouth. Come on. Which controller? Which action method? Index 5. Working. So is it working between one control to the other controller? This is what many people asked when I was explaining about the action method. Say, can I go to another place? Yeah, wherever you want to jump. But I can't tell you all immediately. Step by step, I'll teach you. Wait, don't worry. All the things I'll show you. Understood, everyone? Any doubts? Tell me. Yeah, that view to view. Where you jumped from view to view, I don't understand. Read me note for what is your name, I don't know. Where did I jump from view to view? I did not jump from view to view. From where to where I jumped? Action method to action method I jumped. What I shown you? Action method to action method is what I jumped. A request never goes to a view. Every request should come to action method only. Are you clear? See, suppose for example, here there is a view. This is a view. What view? Test index 1. I have a hyperlink here. When I click on this, it has to launch me another view. When I click on this, it has to launch me. And remember all of you, when I click on this, if at all it has to launch another view, it doesn't go to the view directly. There should be an action method. When I click on the link, I should come to action method, and from action method to view only I can go. View to view I can't jump. Did you understand my point or not? View to view jumping is not going to be possible. You should first come to where? Action method, and from there only you can just go there. For example, I'll show you practically. Observe if you want. Here I'm going to add a link now. When I click on the link, it is going to launch me another view. It is going to launch me another view. But I can't call the view directly. What is it called? Action method. Watch. I am going to here below the table, I'm adding a link. Watch it. Click to launch new page. What is the new page? Array, what is this? It's not a view name. Yeah, this action method name. Don't forget that. Means, should I write this method name, sir? Yes, compulsory. You're required to go to test controller and you again required to write public action result display one. Better will go with view result. Yeah, no problem. But I want to be specific. Again, I'll say return view. Now, right click on display one, add view, design this again. I'm again designing the same like the previous one. What? A table to show the data. This is display one. So guys, carefully observe. My first request comes to index 5 of home controller. Okay, observe the address bar. Notice, what am I calling? Array, you're telling only one. Second one also tell. Home controller. Controller changing, na? Tell that. Where you're sending the request? Home controller, index 5. Is that clear? Hit the enter. Where you came? Test controller, index 1. Did you get the values here? When I click on this, where will it go? Test controller only, display 1. Watch. Are you clear? But no values. No values. Sir, you said the values will be carried on to next request. Yes, now also I'm telling you, the values will be carried on to next request. Carried also, I shown you. But once you pick the values from the temp data, the values are lost. Array, the values will come from one request to another request here. But you consumed them. Once consumed, the values are not present anymore. Did you understand me? The scope difference, this is what I'm showing you guys. The scope difference, are you following me? Yes or not? When you come to view data, view bag, what happened? Corresponding view, next request did not work. But this worked for next request. But in the second request, what did we do? We access the data. Now, display is the third request. Don't forget that. Display is my third request. Once it goes to display, because it is already accessed in test, the values are not accessible for you in the display. That is the scope of temp data. That is the scope of temp data. Means only one-time access. It provides you only one-time access, but multiple times access is not available for us in this case. Are you clear? Okay. Yeah, temp data will maintain the state, but once you access the, suppose I did not access the values in, suppose, for example, I did not access the values in test 1, I can access in display 1. If I did not pick the values in test 1, I can access in display 1. You brought, basically, just for example, you just went to office. In the office you stay, you need to stay until afternoon only, from morning to evening. But unfortunately some urgent work and you have to stay until night. Okay, now you bought a lunch box. If you eat the lunch box in the afternoon, you can't eat again in the night. No. You did not eat in the afternoon. For some reason you did not eat in the afternoon. Then you can eat in night. But if you eat in the afternoon, you can't eat in the night again. It's also same. If test 1 is accessing the values, display 1 cannot access the values anymore. That's the main difference what we have here. Did you understand about temp data? Sir, is there no chance to access it in the next request? Option is there. Default behavior I shown you. But still, no sir, store it. I want to use it in my next request also. We need to make some changes to the code. What changes I'll tell you. But first do a practice up to here. Next thing I'll show you further. Okay. So step by step our scopes will increase. Are you getting my point? Step by step our scopes will increase. The scopes are going to increase for you. Okay. Let's stop it here. We'll continue the next session. Sagar, try na. Without trying only, sir, you're telling explain again. Open the browser. Open the browser. Send your request here. Open your browser. Hit F12. Hit F12. When you hit F12, it will launch you the developer tools. It will launch you the developer tools. In this, go to network. Sagar, go to network and then send your request. Send your request. Request is going to where? Index 5. And then in the bottom you will see the things. Okay. When will Angular classes start? How do I know that? Watch the website, yeah. Look at the website. Sheetal, did you complete C#? Sheetal, did you complete C#? Without completing C#, don't attend the classes I already said you. 3,500 is a value. What is this question? 3,500 means what? It's a value. That value is being carry forwarded. That value is being carry forwarded. Remaining two values are not being carry forwarded, but it is just trying to carry forward those values. Maybe the browser is not showing all the values, showing only the last value. What is the 3,500? Mary is showing the last value. I'm not aware of that. What is that 3,500? But it is, no, all the three values are carried now, not one. What is the 3,500? Maybe in the URL it is picking the last value. I did not say that at all. I did not say that at all. Who is this? Chandu. Chandu, if at all you want videos, I already said you. If you want videos, you need to pay 7,000 rupees. 3,500 for normal fees. For videos, another 3,500. Oh, you already paid. You're not getting the videos? Are you not getting the videos? Send me your phone number. What's your name? Chandu, right? So what shall I do here? You completed up to 25th August. Okay. So what shall I do now? What do you want? You're only sending that information. What next? What's your question? August 8th class. Okay, if you did not attend, what to do? Any suggestion? Ask for your admin. Talk with the admin if he can give you introduction videos to you. Introduction videos also, I think only 9 videos or 10 videos are available. You cannot do anything. Temp data and response dot redirect. Temp data is for storing the value. Response dot redirect is for transferring the value, Kalyan. Both are not same. New batch asking. ఇది చూడండి ఈ నెంబర్ ఎవరు చందు అంట 7,000 కట్టాడంట కానీ వీడియోస్ రావట్లేదంట. చందు, ఆర్ యు దేర్? చందు, if you are there, just to speak with Arvind, send your fees receipt to him. Yeah, Arvind is beside me. Just call him and talk to him. Call him and talk to him. Any more questions from anyone?